Atelier. The new test is about to begin for Agat and Riche. And so let's see what's gonna happen, shall we? The cave here was home to the prosperous Cavern Nation, which specialized in magic craftsmanship. Whoa, it's like a whole ass city. Wore their arrogance on their sleeves. They thought themselves as a better breed than the nations outside. Interesting. More travelers from the surface came to welcome those they deemed of benefits. They created the Oh, that's interesting. So it's like this group of people that created this whole civilization underneath the caves. They essentially were just like egotistical as hell, right? And they were like, okay, well, we don't want just anybody and everybody to come here because we think so much of ourselves. So we're gonna make the cave, the Serpent's Back cave pass thing to see if someone is truly worthy to become part of our people. It's kind of a crazy way to, a crazy outlook to have, but I mean, hey. Right, they essentially turn into a maze. They grew beautiful and prosperous. That is beautiful. Until one day, they started turning on each other, right. Those deemed to be without merit were forced to exchange their flesh and blood, be turned into golden statues to decorate the city. Yeah, they essentially destroyed themselves from the inside. Wow. It collapsed under the weight of its own gold. But the gold was made from the blood of their own people. That's crazy. Humans are terrifying creatures. Well, it's a double-edged sword. It's used for that, sure, but yeah, if that's what they think, then that's what it will be. They are the future of the world, after all. This magic might create an unhappy result for our meal. Oh god, it's all burnt. You just gotta scrape off the burnt part. Yeah, and it's cool because, like, you know, Kiefer wants to believe that that's true, right? But we see what happens when people get this ability to use magic, right? You know, for example, the people of this underground city, right? They used magic, and sure, it was for good at first, right? But they let it get to their head, you know? That power, it just fed into their ego, and then eventually they destroyed themselves from the inside out. And so I think it really just depends on the type of people that is using the magic, right? And it makes sense. That's why, you know, magic is gate-kept in a world like this, and only selective people can be able to become witches and use magic. I think it's actually a valid system they have in place, because for the most part, you know, a lot of people, they think they can handle the power of magic, but then, you know, over time, it slowly gets to them and it destroys them. And this has been going on forever. And that's why the huge war happened, right? The Great War. And so it makes more and more sense why they would want to gatekeep the magic. How will you proceed? Yeah, she's just there to watch. She can't give any advice, but she can protect them. Okay, Riche, time to step it up. She said it's easy. I like that confidence. Oh, but it's not that easy. Damn. Oh, he saved her. Let's go. Oh, God. I'd be motion sick as hell from this. It's the magic of the road. And see, they knew that people would use magic to try to get in here. If you step off the road, you'll fall into the labyrinth. Oh, okay. This is like a perfect test, really. It makes so much sense that this is part of the witch training. Oh, they're all casting seals. That's interesting. I forgot that he's failed this test a few times already. Agat already knows what to do. She's been waiting for this moment. Use water. What does that do? Oh, it follows gravity. Right, so the water acts as like a guide. That's pretty cool. She's a prodigy. The right answer. The right spell. Yeah. Richelita. Drawing more of these worthless spells. Whoa. Hell, master. Why can't you just do what your master tells you? Man, what a bum. Oh. Is it him? The same guy that is with him on the test, his master as well. Yeah. That's awesome. And see, this is cool, right? Because, and this is what, like, the last episode was kind of focused upon. Because it was mostly, like, a Riche-centered episode. And Riche is, like, the embodiment of having, like, a very strong sense of self, right? And her, you know, her individuality is so powerful. Like, her sense of it, right? And she doesn't want to conform to what people want her to do and, like, tell her to do. And she was like, oh, this is the right spell, this is the right path, you know? But really, there's no one true right answer. I mean, there's like the tried and true methods, of course, the tried and true spells, but Riche wants to do it in her own regard, you know? And it's just linked to her sense of self and how she wants to do her own spells and, you know, kind of tackle problems in her own way. And so I think it's interesting how I believe that she's going to pull her weight in this test by kind of thinking outside of the box and finding like a different approach that isn't necessarily like orthodox, right? So I think Riche's strong suit is thinking outside of the box. And it's cool because on the other hand, Agat is like very, very well trained on the principles and the fundamentals. So there's kind of like a contrast between how the two think and like approach magic as a whole. Oh yeah, they gotta protect the Miraphons, I forgot. Don't try to be cute. But the mannerisms are important. Okay, they're speaking to each other. Use an echoing spell. But Riche's got something figured out of her own, huh? There's no right answer with magic. Exactly. Exactly, Riche. Holy wisdom. Yeah, she's getting tired of it, all that talk. She wants to try her own method. Let's go. Yeah. Only using her own spells. Hell yeah. That's just not how the world works. And see, he says this is a test, so it has right answers. And it's the only right answer in the test is to actually complete it, you know, complete the goal. There's no set path for it. But it makes sense that this guy feels this type of way, right? Because it all comes back to how he was taught, you know? And he doesn't really have this sense of self that Riche has, right? And Riche has it. I think a lot of influence that Riche had was from, I think it was her older brother, right? Or her older sibling saying that they loved her spells, you know, the original ones that she created. And that kind of reaffirmed her drive to, you know, be so self-sufficient and independent and make her own spells, right? And he's like the opposite because he had like a bum-ass master who was like, what are you doing? You can't do anything, you know, you can't do any form of self-expression. You have to be a drone and you have to learn all the fundamentals and stick to them and never stray off the right path, you know? And the reason why they say that is because that may be what worked for them, right? His master, the bum, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he has to stick to that, you know, and live by that. And it's good to know the fundamentals and, you know, the regular spells, but it's not something that you have to completely rely on, right? So yeah, it's cool. And maybe Riche will be able to give him a different outlook. Yeah, that's exactly the type of talk she doesn't like. Learn from your failures and it becomes knowledge. Yeah, she's talking about Coco. Do things your way. Yeah, Coco. Still make an impact on everybody. Oh, she doesn't need permission. But it's a nice gesture that Agat said. No, a leaf. Or a feather. That feather looks different. Yeah, he can't do it. It's beyond him. See, and that's why he's so anxious. It's because his bum master, man. So he studied how other people do things instead. Because he doesn't believe in himself. Like, actually the stark opposite of Riche. Okay, there's a little bit of a gap. This is no problem for the gang. Are there other witches here today? Oh, she saw a roped figure. Uh-oh. Red flag. It had to be a brim cap or something crazy. But there's nothing there. She thinks her mind was playing tricks on her. But she probably did actually see something. Oh, yep, it's the invisible guy. He's gonna cause some havoc, man. Okay, so they have to figure out how to cross the gap on their own. Exactly. They gotta get creative. This is what Riche's here for. They have to extend the stones to the other side. Okay, that works. Oh. That's creative. A ribbon made of stone. And the ribbon is like her own technique too, which is awesome. If there's something you can't do, change the method to something you can. Yes, play to your strengths. She definitely has a point. And what is Agat gonna do? Oh, she's using the rock manipulating spell. That's cool. She's just making her own little platform. Repetition and replication spells. Yeah, she figured out her own little method. Oh, shit. Oh, okay, she made it. That's good. Yeah, it's harder to draw when she has to conceal it. But that just motivates her to work harder. Alright, now it's time for Homeboy to do it. Come on, I believe in you. He doesn't believe in himself, though. He can't do it. He's folding under the pressure. Well, yeah, he just has the mindset of failure already. That guy's gotta talk some sense into him. Yeah. Just do something. What did he do? They're communicating with each other. Yeah, the cry mimic spell. Oh, a rain spell. Using spells for problems we've already solved. He can't draw. He can't do anything, man. Holy. Jeez. He's never been able to draw when someone else is watching. Because his master would always be over his shoulder being like, no, no. So he just hides away. And that's where he likes to draw. He drew all the right answer spells in advance. See, but he's just... Yeah. Interesting. So he's not really truly prepared. He kind of just made all the spells in advance. But the test... This test isn't like, you know... Okay, remember all the spells that you need to do and then cast the spells and you're done. It's like, this test is to... just work the muscles of creativity inside of people, right? It's literally meant to test their ability to think outside of the box. And this is why Riche is like perfect for this test, and it will be easy for her because it's like she is just built for it, you know? She's built for this test. But on the other hand, Homeboy over here is not built for it whatsoever because of, you know, his upbringing and his perspective. So I think he'll definitely struggle the most, although I imagine he'll be able to pull through and even help when they can't figure out something. So he'll come through for sure. I wish I could stop being me. Jesus, man. Yeah, the test is also about being stealthy with making the magic seals. Yeah, time for some inspiration. Then be alone right now. It's like a mindset type thing. It doesn't actually have to be by himself. He just has to forget that people are watching him. Yeah, he can make his own little hidey hole. Then don't use a spell. Okay, now he's by himself. He'll be able to draw it. Surely. Don't interfere. Yeah, this is his own little process. Although it's definitely unorthodox. He thinks they're disgusted. No, they want him to do it. They believe in him. They want to see him succeed, man. He just has to lock in. He's too self-critical. Make it something you can do and you can do it. Yep. It's him. Right. He was just holding himself back this entire time. A mirror. Come on, here we go. The casting seal in the mirror cloak. It's not so much as a mirror as an application of concealment and reflection that projects an image of the beast. Oh, interesting. It's a very complex spell to give the illusion of being a mirror. And he can use inspiration from that. Oh, what did he do? A wind barrier. An ancient unknown spell? No, it's just his own spell he created. It's like a cloak of shadow. Oh wow, that looks pretty cool actually. He engineered this spell. Okay. That's actually cool. He erased the mirror part. Kept the shade aspect. That's interesting. The Mirrorfin can't see him. Well, technically, I mean, yeah. Now he doesn't have to worry about people observing him. Okay, he's got it. He's locked in. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a cool spell. I don't know what he did, but he did it. That's cool. Yeah, this is who he is. He has his own way of doing it, just like they do. And Richie's proud of him. Yeah, nice, nice. Good job, Richie. Yeah, he's got his own promise and talent. Thank you, Richie. He saved me first, now we're even. Yeah, Richie knows that feeling all too well. That's what improvement is, right? And she's the self-improvement guru. Okay, that's a W. The purpose of the test is to learn about yourself. There's only one path forward, but the way to do it is different. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, Rije's having a little bit of fun. Oh, she's still mad at Keyfree for signing her up for the test. Angry Che. Point. Oh, shit. What the hell? The rim cap just went for ALAIRA. What? What, she threw her hat? Is she trying to get Keyfree? Don't listen to them. Oh, shit. Oh. Damn. This whole time he was preparing for this test, right? And he literally like took the mindset of like, okay, it's a test, so there's right answers and I have to study for it and I have to be prepared and do it completely by the book, right? But in reality, it's like the test itself, yeah, there's a right answer, but the right answer is just to complete the test, you know, successfully. And it's different for everyone who takes the test, right? And that's the purpose of the test, is to demonstrate, well, at first it's to learn about yourself, but it's also to demonstrate that you have to come up with your own ideas. And that's why ALAIRA isn't going to tell them how to complete the test, right? Because that would defeat the entire purpose of it. You know, the test wants them to be creative. And we got to see that, you know, Agot had her own way of handling it with the water spell. And then Riche had her little ribbon spell, right? And my boy had the little, I don't know what spell he made to cross the gap, but he made that like cloak of shadow spell, which I thought was pretty cool, right? And so he made, you know, he kind of developed as a character a little bit, right? And learned to not beat himself up so much and be so self-critical. And as a result of that, he kind of snapped out of this, you know, mindset that's so damaging to him, and created his own little spell, which was just so cool to see, man. But yeah, I love the messaging behind it, like the topic of individuality, right? And like self-expression, really, you know, because that's what the test is encouraging. And that's what it is to be a witch, right? It's just expression at the end of the day, because you have all types of possibilities to create any spell that you want. And that's what separates each witch from themselves, you know, from each other, is how they view the world and what is their perspective on things. And that is what influences what type of witch they become, right? And even the spells that they create as a result of that. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It just felt like it moved a little bit slower this episode, and it really focused on him. So unless he becomes like a main character, then I feel like maybe there was a little bit too much time spent on that, but I wouldn't say it was bad or anything, right? It was just a little bit slow. And you know, I'm not mad about that. I still thought it was an enjoyable episode overall, and I thought it was a nice little episode. And of course, the ending was really cool, right? Because I was expecting him to show up anyway. him or they or whoever the hell this invisible cloak guy is, right? And they captured ALAIRA, which is crazy because I thought they would just go ahead and try to like kill one of the apprentices, right? But it seems like maybe the goal of the Brim Caps is to not kill the apprentices, but more so, you know, coerce them into joining them, and like the dark side of magic, you know, the forbidden side, because ALAIRA's like, don't listen to what they say, forbidden magic is, you know, not good. And so I imagine that they'll try to be like, well, you know, you could just do this whole test just by casting this one forbidden spell, right? And so I think that's really interesting, man, for sure. I'm interested to see how the gang reacts to him, and how like this invisible brimmed cap treats them, right? Is it with hostility or more like a sense of coercion, you know? And so I'm interested to see how it plays out, you know, which character is going to kind of fold under the pressure and fall into that temptation of doing forbidden magic. And yeah, it's just, I think it's cool because Coco isn't there and Kiefer isn't there, and maybe they'll show up in the next episode, but I'm interested to see what happens for sure. But we only have one episode left, so I really thought that like the confrontation and like the big conflict would start kind of like halfway through this episode, but it really like waited till the end, which I don't mind. I think maybe the next episode will be a lot more balls to the wall, you know, action packed, and a lot more is going on because the cloak guy has revealed themselves. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm interested to see what happens. I hope it does take like a darker turn, right? And they're all like, oh, you're bad, I don't want to do the forbidden magic. I really do think there's more nuance to it, and these characters aren't perfect as we've seen, so maybe one of the major characters will, you know, like I said, fall into the trap of the forbidden magic, right? Overall though, it was a solid episode. I give it like maybe a 7 out of 7.5 out of 10. It was pretty decent. All right, well, I think I've yapped enough. I'm gonna let you go now. So if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for the last episode of Witch Hat Atelier. Peace.